Okay, so get this. How does a self-help book from way back in 1963, before the internet was even a thing, suddenly blow up and go viral on YouTube? It sounds kind of crazy, right? But it points to this timeless secret about how our own minds actually work.
But before we get into that, let me ask you a question. Did you have any idea that there's this hidden force that's controlling almost everything in your life? We're talking your success, your habits, your happiness, and it's doing it all without you even noticing.
That's right. Modern summaries of this classic book put the number at a staggering 95%. Think about that. 95% of your life is basically being run by your inner autopilot. It's been running the show this whole time.
And that powerful force? Well, it's your subconscious mind. The book that really cracked this code wide open is Joseph Murphy's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And its central idea is actually pretty simple, but it is so profound. From the moment you were born, your subconscious has been like a recording device that's always on, creating these little programs that now run your life automatically. The problem, as Murphy pointed out, is that a lot of that early programming, well, it might be negative or just totally outdated for who you are today.
So if you want to fix the programming, you've got to understand the system first. Murphy explains that you really have one mind, but it's got two very different, distinct parts. You've got the conscious and the subconscious. You can kind of think of them as two different captains trying to steer the very same ship.
All right, so here's the breakdown, and this is the really crucial part. Your conscious mind, that's the captain up on the bridge. It's the tiny 5% that uses logic, it reasons things out, it makes the big decisions. It's that voice in your head you're hearing right now. But the subconscious, that's the enormous crew working in the engine room, the other 95%. It doesn't ask questions, it doesn't reason, it just follows orders. It's emotional, it's creative, and it's running your body, your habits, everything, completely on autopilot.
And this quote from Murphy just illustrates that relationship perfectly. The subconscious is basically an obedient servant. It takes whatever the conscious mind believes to be true, and it accepts it, no questions asked. And then it works 24/7 to make that belief your reality.
Still not sold on it? All right, let's try a quick little experiment right here, right now. I want you to just imagine a bright, shiny, yellow lemon. Really see it. Now, picture yourself slicing it open. You see the juice kind of squirt out. You can smell that sharp, citrusy scent. Okay, now imagine taking a big, slow bite. Is your mouth watering? I bet it is. See, there's no lemon, but your subconscious mind reacted as if it were 100% real. That's just how powerful this thing is.
So, if our subconscious just follows the orders we give it, and it can't even tell the difference between what's real and what we just imagine, well, what does that mean? It means we can give it new orders. It means we can actively reprogram that inner autopilot. We can rewrite the code.
And what's cool is that modern YouTube summaries have basically boiled down Murphy's methods into a super simple 3-step toolkit. It's easy to remember. Number 1, you feed your mind new commands. 2, you visualize the outcome you want like it's already happened. And 3, you take actions that actually match up with that new reality.
Okay, so let's check out step 1. Murphy tells this awesome story about a university student. She saw this really expensive traveling bag that she just fell in love with but totally couldn't afford. Now, her old programming, her old command, would have been, I can't afford that. But instead, she gave her mind a new command. Over and over, she just affirmed, that bag is mine. I accept it mentally. And what happened? Later that exact same day, her fiancé shows up and gives her the exact same bag as a surprise gift. She gave her subconscious a new clear order and it figured out a way to make it happen.
And step 2, visualization. Man, this is a technique you see everywhere once you start looking for it, especially with super successful people. I'm sure you've heard the famous story about Jim Carrey, right? Long before anyone knew his name, he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered. He kept it in his wallet, and he would look at it every single day, really feeling what it would be like to cash that check. And then, years later, he signed a movie deal for, you guessed it, exactly $10 million. But step 3, this is the one that people tend to forget, and it's so important. Your subconscious is incredibly powerful, for sure, but it's not some magic genie in a bottle. You have to back up all that mental work with real-world action. If you're feeding your mind commands about being more confident, you actually have to start taking small actions that a confident person would take. Your inner world and your outer world, they have to start matching up.
And this whole entire process, the reason it works is because of what Murphy called the law of belief. It's really the foundational principle of his entire book. And it's simple. Whatever your conscious mind truly, deeply believes and accepts, your subconscious mind will move heaven and earth to make it your reality.
Which, brings us all the way back around to our original question. Why is this 60-year-old book suddenly all over the place? The ideas, they're clearly timeless. But the delivery system, that's brand new.
The answer, really, lies in today's YouTube ecosystem. There's this huge and still growing hunger for self-help and personal development. And these savvy creators, they figured out they can take these dense, powerful books like Murphy's and repackage them into short, fun, animated videos. They boil down all the core ideas into simple, actionable steps that you can watch on your commute or during a coffee break. And this bite-sized format, which is super popular with these faceless channels, isn't just easier to produce, it's incredibly powerful for an audience that wants that practical wisdom, but maybe doesn't have time to read a 200-page book.
And the scale we're talking about here is just mind-blowing. Think about it. The original book sold millions of copies, which is amazing, but that was over the course of decades. Now look at this. A single animated summary on YouTube can get over 17 million views in just a fraction of that time. That is the incredible, almost unbelievable power of modern media when it connects with a message that's just as relevant today as it was in 1963.
Another thing these new summaries do is add in other complementary ideas to make the advice even stronger for today's world. So, for example, they'll bring in quotes like this famous one from Jim Rohn to really drive home how important your environment is. The idea is, if you seriously want to reprogram your mind for success, you have to surround yourself, both in real life and online, with people and content that actually reinforce that new reality you're trying to build.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Whether you're paying attention to it or not, your subconscious mind is being programmed in this very moment. It's being programmed by the things you watch, the people you talk to, the thoughts you just keep repeating to yourself. And really, the only question is, are you going to let all of that happen on autopilot, or are you going to be the one to step up and start writing the code?